Hi and welcome to this Pano2VR version 7 screencast. In this screencast we're going to be looking at some of the changes we've made in version 7 to the previous versions. So let's start off then. We've got a slightly different colour scheme with a new icon, and what I'm going to do is jump straight in and open an existing project. Right, so straight away you'll see we've got a much cleaner interface. You tab through things like viewing parameters and user data and input image parameters, etc. And this is the project parameters, so anything here is for the project and these are all for the individual nodes of the tour. Okay, so that's basically the properties panel. The output, we've renamed this from HTML5 to web because obviously this is a web output. And if you want to get to any of the properties here, just click in the output panel and it will change, the properties will change to that of the output. If I click in the panorama, we're back to the properties panel for the pano. If I click in the output, we change to the output properties. What I want to show you is under VR. Now what we've got is skins for VR. Pano2VR 7 will ship with a couple of skins. And whilst we're here, what I want to do is just quickly touch on custom keyboard shortcuts. I'm on the Mac, so Pano2VR preferences, it's file settings for the PC, and we've got custom keyboard shortcuts, and you can modify or add your own shortcuts for various tasks that you may want to do or repeat. Okay, whilst we're here then, I'm going to go back to user data. We've been asked several times for adding more fields like author, date and time source. The reason being is you can put data in here and use that within the output. So what we've done is created custom properties. You can have as many of these as you want, and basically it will create a variable in the skin. You can have a text variable, so you can basically have lots of these and have lots more interaction, and so we have these for each node of the tour, so each node can have its own custom properties. We've also brought this in with point hotspots as well, so each point hotspot can have more properties with it as well. Okay, so that's a couple of the major things there. What I want to show you here is this live update. If I create my first output with version 7, you'll see that we actually get this output, and we've got a skin. I'm using the material dart skin, and you can see that we've got a live update active. Basically what this means is if I change anything in the project file or skin, the output will automatically update. So if I just change the skin to say feather box, you'll see that you get the update going on and the skin is now changed. There we go. Right, so whilst we're here, let's just have a quick look at this skin. We've got some nice hotspots. This is, Pano2VR version 7 is going to be coming with quite a few new skins. Here is the information box. If you fill it up, it turns you can have a scroller. We've got our social buttons there, so you've got Facebook, Twitter, the turn the sound on off full screen, and we've also got a thumbnail menu. Okay, so this is quite a nice clean skin. Whilst we're here, what I'll do is move over to the kitchen and we'll see a new hotspot type that we've got, which is for PDF. So we've now got proper PDF support with a proper PDF player or viewer built into Pano2VR. Another thing that we've brought into Pano2VR is a thing called a web element, a pinned web element. So what does that mean exactly? Well, I'm using one here. If we look on the laptop, we've got a proper web page. I can click on this and we can scroll the pages, and basically what we can do is pin web elements inside the panorama. So let's have a look at this. Let's have a look at dining area and whiz it round, and you can see under the viewing parameters or the viewer tools, you'll see that we've got this web element, and you click it and you can place it in the panorama and pin it wherever you want. Okay, so if we have a look at its properties here, you'll see that I'm just using an iframe to go to a website, but you could be using an embed code of say a YouTube video, which I'll show later, and or a div or whatever. But most web elements you can pin in this web element. Okay, so let's move on then. Let's have a look. Let's go to this node. We can see we've got a pinned video and another web element there with a YouTube video. pinned image. Let's move on. We can see we've got the pinned image. We can pop that in and out. That's nothing new, but this skin gives us this particular feather box skin. We've got a pinned, or rather not pinned, but it's a pop-up image. You can see it pop up and we can close it, or you can pop it up, click again to get a bigger version of it. We've got the, as I say, the pinned web element there. It's showing a YouTube video. Welcome everyone, and welcome to this. Here we go. And also we've got our pinned video. Now, nothing new with pinned video, but what I want to show you is the pinned video, how now we can adjust it. So if we have a look at pinned video, we've got our usual handles that we can distort the box, but we've also got the handles here now that we can just click and drag to more precisely pin and quickly pin elements. Now this is for video and pinned web elements and pinned images. Okay, so that's basically some of the new features. What I want to do now is take a little bit of time and look at some of the new skins. So we've got the feather box, which we've just seen. Let's go to material dart. I mean, there are others in here, but I just want to quickly showcase some of these. So here is the dart. We've got, this boasts point hotspots that are animated. We've got menus here that we can have drop down menus. So that's quite a nice one. If we also look at what we got here, material index, you'll see that we've got, it's quite a nice skin. It's quite plain to look at, but we've got a thumbnail menu. We can turn on and off the point hotspots. Sound, if we had some, in our full screen button, you can see we've got full screen. But what this does do, if we have a look at the skin configuration, now all the new skins have active skin configurations. In other words, you can actually configure these skins. So if I open it up, you can see we can change the color, the main color scheme of the skin, but we can also add and take away certain elements of the skin. And also they've got built-in categories. At the moment, with no categories selected, you get a thumbnail menu of all of the nodes in the tour. Now I've actually added tags to these. I've got inside and outside, so any panoramas inside has got an inside tag and vice versa. So let's just do that. So I'm going to add an inside and outside. We'll just call this in, and we'll call this one out. And what I'm going to do is open and just refresh the page so you can see this. So now you can see, instead of all the thumbnails, we've now put them into categories. We've got an inside and outside. If we have a look, we've got this nice animation. This is actually a Lottie animation, and I'll talk about that in a second. And what we can do is, if we click the inside category, we see all the inside panoramas. If we click out, we see the outside panoramas. So you can see we can change categories as well. Alright, okay, so that's the skin configuration. If I delete those, click OK, it updates, and we're now back to, let's just refresh, and we're going to be back to the thumbnail menu. Alright, now we did mention about skins. I'll carry on actually. Let's have a look. The last skin I want to look at is the Venice skin. The reason why I wanted to show you this one is because, again, we've got, it's a really nice skin. It's got lots of options with it to play with. It doesn't have the categories option if you've got lots of nodes, but not to worry, because when you open it up, you've got a thumbnail menu, but you can also expand this. So if you've got lots of thumbnails and fills this up, it then scrolls as well. It got a scroll box as well, so you can have a scroll bar. So this is a really nice skin. But what I like about this skin is it animates. It's quite clean if you open it up on a mobile phone, but if you wanted a little bit more visuals, you can add a controller. Click OK, this will update, and it will give you a controller in the middle as well. So you've got the controller and you've got the next and previous buttons. So that's a really nice skin. Okay, I want to move on to opening up a different skin. I've built a translation skin, and what I'm going to do is quickly go into this and just show you the components toolbox. Now the components toolbox, we've touched this, we've added things. The components toolbox now will ship with icons. You can use icons to put into your skins, and Lottie animations. Now, what is a Lottie animation? Right, well, let's just hide a few of these things in the skins tree, and I can just grab a Lottie animation, drag it in. If I preview it, you'll see it. There it is. That's an animation. All right. Now, basically, with Lottie animations, you've got some control of them. So you autoplay, what happens on mouse hover. We will cover this in greater detail, but it's a way of adding some real polish to your projects using these animations. Right, now, translation. Why have I got this translation? Well, let me just output this and show you why it's there. Okay, so here is a project. Right button click, you've got the context menu, we've got the rectilinear, projection, stereo, and enter full screen, etc. And if I now, if I hover over the point hotspots, you'll see that it's in English. Yeah, okay, but if I click the German button, these are now in German, and if I right button click, you'll see that the context menu is in German as well. Now, this has been made, like, obviously we've been able to do translations for a while, but what we've done now is made this much quicker and faster. So if we go back to the project's settings under translations, we are using a little app called Poedit. Basically what it does is it Pano2VR exports a pop file. You open it up in Poedit. This is an example, and you'll see all of the text in Pano2VR's project file, and you can get this to translate for you. Some of the words it can't translate, doesn't matter. You can use Google Translate or whatever to add the text. So you just select something and you can type it in here to translate. But basically, you translate the whole of the project file, and when you're done, it's done. Simple as that. Now, we do translate the skin separately. If I open up the skin, you'll see that it's got its own translation file there. The reason why we translate the skin separately from the project file is because if you're a skin builder, you build a skin, you can then send someone a skin with its own translation file, so you can build multilingual skins for people. So that's why we've separated it out. But yeah, that's basically the translations and how they work. And again, there will be information covering how we do this later. Okay, what I want to do now is show you another project. So this is our park tour as normal, but what I want to show you in this one, what we've done, is if you look, we've got the point hotspots and we've got the tour nodes in the tour browser. As we hover over these, you'll see there's interaction. You'll see that they light up yellow. So you can now see what hotspot affects what panorama. And if I was open up the tour node, or the tour map even, sorry, you'll see that we've got the same thing going on there. So you'll see that everything shows its highlights when you hover over a node. It shows you where its map pin is and its hotspot. Okay, right, now the reason why I wanted to open up this tour map project is because we've added multi-layers. So instead of having multiple maps in one project, you can have one map, give it a multi-layer or select multi-layers, so you can now have terrain or satellite or other types of map in the one project. So in the one tour map in here, you can select the different types. Let's close that, open up a project, and let's see what it looks like in an output. So here, if I open up the map, you'll see that we've now got terrain and satellite. There we go. And you can switch between the two. And the other thing we've got is map limits. Before, you would be able to zoom out, and you could zoom out and the person viewing the panorama could actually get lost and lose where they are. But now what we can do is add zoom limits or add limits to the map. So you can zoom it in and out and you won't go past a certain limit. The way we've done that is if we have a look back at the tour map, we've got this new set map limits. You can see I've got a map limit there. If I wanted to delete it, I just hit the cross, and basically you just select this, draw a square, and that is going to be the map limit for or what you're going to be seeing in the map area. So that's quite good. It stops people losing where they are in the map. Okay, so with that said, let's close this down, and I'm going to select our last project to show you, and that is going to be full 360 video. Now, We've been asked quite a lot again for hotspots for tracking 360 video. So now what we've done is, if you had a point hotspot, you would click this button position, and what it will do, it will open up, or it will add a video Pano timeline. And what you can do is, if I scrub through this, I've already done some of these. If you look at this guy, he's Phil and this is Bill. So you can see there's Bill's timeline and there's Phil's timeline underneath. And as we scrub through, as he jumps around, we can move the hotspots as well. Okay, so let's just see what this looks like on the output. So let's just play this. There we go. And as Phil jumps around, the hotspots will track. Whilst we're in this video timeline, what you can do as well is add subtitles. If you've got an SRT file, basically you can add that to the timeline, and these SRT files have time indexes and what words to say at what particular time index. So as I scrub over, you can say the words yes, 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 and that, and everyone's laughing, etc, etc. Right, so you can just add that, or you can manually do it. You can just add a double click, add a word, and then come over, double click, leave it empty, and in that particular space we've got the word hi. I'll leave that in there, but let's see what this looks like in the output, and just let it run, and you'll see under here the subtitles showing. So this is a 360 video.
Oh oui.
Oh oui.
Oh yes. Yes.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yes.
I think you get the idea. Right, so yeah, you can add a subtitle track and then add subtitles to your 360 videos. Okay, I think that covers everything I want to show in this particular video. There's going to be obviously more videos and more information to come. We've got lots more changes in the skin. We've done so much in version 7. I'm really excited to show you this video, and even more excited to show you videos in the future. But as if from now, and as always, thanks for watching.